What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again, always with another one. And yes, indeed, it is another one. So we got press secretary out here, Karoline, and she's going to talk about some things about the situation. And this is it. The reason why that we had all these situations to where Trump is giving these ultimatums and things like that for the FBI, CIA, stuff like that, is because we got a lot of people that are outside in the field, working from home, things like that. And I'm sorry, but these organizations need people to check into the building. Now, pay attention to what I'm saying here. All these are jobs. You cannot have a job, career, whatever you want to put, whatever title you want to put on these things. You cannot go check into the main hub of the situation that you're working for and think that shit just going to be okay. Now, everybody that got used to, oh, no, I ain't got to go to, I want to work from home and this and that. Okay, then, well, you want to work from home, listen, look. This is not going to fly anymore. We as the American citizens need you to get your ass back in that building, do your job, not working from home in your damn pajamas. Okay? We need you to get back to work. COVID's over. It is what it is. It's over. So we're going to go here now, and we're going to check this out. Let's see what the press secretary had to say. Shout out to her.
Karoline, Catholic Relief Services, which helps vulnerable people around the globe, is urging President Trump to continue funding their organization. Your response, please.
Sure. Well, I would defer you to the State Department on which foreign organizations or organizations that work overseas, humanitarian aid organizations, will continue to be funded. Secretary Rubio has been tasked with now being the acting administrator of USAID. As you all know, we have streamlined USAID into the State Department. Hi, Rachel. And so we want to ensure that we're being good stewards of the American taxpayers' dollars. He is currently going line by line to ensure that foreign aid to private organizations, public organizations, or government organizations aligns with America's interests. So I defer you to that.
In Nicaragua,
Sure, Libby.
2% of federal employees have accepted that buyout that was offered. Is that less than the White House was anticipating?
Well, the last time I checked in with Office of Personnel and Management, there was more than 40,000 individuals, federal workers, who had accepted the buyout program. We expect that number to increase, and that alone, just the 40,000, again, we expect it to increase. It's going to save the American people tens of millions of dollars. And we encourage federal workers in this city to accept the very generous offer. If they don't want to show up to the office, if they want to rip the American people off, then they're welcome to take this buyout, and we'll find highly competent individuals who want to fill these roles.
Yo.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
She said it. I didn't. Listen, look, and this is the thing right here. Yes, y'all need to get back in the office. I go to work every day, things like that. You know what I'm saying? And like I've said in previous broadcasts, stuff like that, I'm a chef. So when you get your break off work, or you take your lunch break and you come into my restaurant or whatever, things like that, and you know what I'm saying, you want your food on time, I need you to get your ass back in the office over there and make sure that this country's running on time. Who do you think you are? Now, I know you can't do the job that you need to do sitting around home eating your fucking Cheetos and things like that, thinking that you're doing something special. No, we need you back in the office. We need you to clock in like every other normal human being in America and things like that, and make sure that you're doing your due diligence to be around other people. We need you to clock into the building. We need to see you come on camera in the building that you're supposed to be allegiance to. That's your job, that's your career, things like that. We don't need you clocking in online, stuff like that. No, we need to see your physical body walk into the actual building that's designated for your job. Okay?
Just to follow up on that, after that deadline tonight passes, I know a lot of people at the White House have said there's still going to be widespread layoffs that would come imminently. Can you expand more on what that would look like?
I was just asked that on television. I have not been part of the discussions about the layoffs in particular. I'm not even sure if that's true. I can check and get back to you.
Meredith. Oh, I was going to ask if you have any updates on the meeting with the lawmakers since we went on this afternoon.
I understand the meeting is still ongoing, and it was been quite some time. They're talking about the budget and the priorities from this administration, the tax priorities.
Can I
if I could, the House Republicans are floating the idea of a 5-year extension of the Trump tax cuts. President Trump wants it permanent. Would he sign a bill that has just a 5-year extension?
So I'm glad you brought up taxes. Do you mind holding this so I can bring my receipts? I like to bring the receipts. So these are the tax priorities of the Trump administration that the president has laid out for members in that meeting today. No tax on tips, which is obviously a very public campaign promise that the president made. No tax on seniors' Social Security. No tax on overtime pay. Renewing President Trump's 2017 middle-class tax cuts. Again, these are the president's priorities.
Definitely need the tax cuts for the middle class. It's already known. This is facts. The middle class is what keeps this country going. It just is what it is. The country cannot survive without middle class. It's designed for that. Now, the people that move up from the middle class, it is what it is. And then you have the lower class that move up to the middle class and eventually move up. It's called generational wealth, things like that we've forgotten about. But this is the issue right here. We've forgotten about how to make generational wealth work. But the problem is not we've forgotten about it, is that we don't want to actually have families to put in place in order for generational wealth to work. It's not going to work without families, marriage, institution, things like that. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. That's the only way it's going to work.
Adjusting the SALT cap, eliminate all the special tax breaks for billionaire sports team owners, close the carried interest tax deduction loophole.
Billionaire sports team owners. No wonder Dallas Maverick owner out here was campaigning the way he was at this, when the election was going on. We have to pay attention to these things. Mark Cuban was out here going hard for the Dems. Now we see why. Now we see why. It's all coming to light.
Tax cuts for made in America products. This will be the largest tax cut in history for middle class working Americans. The president is committed to working with Congress to get this done.
Right. It is what it is.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Shout out to Karoline. Hey, yo, this is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I definitely agree with this thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm on board because yes, we need tax cuts for the middle class and things like that. And it won't be so much greediness out here if we do, get the proper tax cuts for the middle class and things like that, where the middle class can live decently and things like that and provide for, the country like how the middle class is supposed to. And I speak upon the middle class because yes, the middle class keeps the country rolling. Now we want to sit here and be, overboard. Well, these people are super rich and they have Lamborghinis and this and that, woo to woo. The thing of that is yes, what I'm saying, it's supposed to be a step process that how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to move from, lower middle class to middle class and then move up to, rich. But it's not supposed to actually be just this overwhelming, how can I put this? This overwhelming of, I want to say a lust process, a lust. And, you know, we all know how lust works. Lust is something that, you know, is not necessarily good. It's a lust process that we're in over here in America for the things that we see online, stuff like that, you know, which we, you know, back in the day, like I said, you know, I'm in my early 40s. So, you know, I remember a time before we had all this internet access and stuff like that, and people could see everything, stuff like that. But we're in lust for things in society. And that's part of our problem. That's the reason why a lot of families are destroyed, things like that, because we're in an overwhelming amount of lust. But really, though, it breaks down to this. I'm glad this is going on. We're trying to regulate this situation. I'm glad that, you know, it's regulators in the building. Shout out to Trump and the situation, things like that. Regulators, mount up. and regulate the system, man. It's crazy out here, but this is it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't want to go back to work, especially y'all federal workers, stuff like that, man. Y'all got huge problems. It is what it is, though. So either take the buyout and let's get some people in place that are actually want to clock in and go to the building. Let their face be shown. Let these people be known that are working for us in society, because, you know what I'm saying, we need to know that these people are clocking in and things like that, and they're a part of society. And it just is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.